Alright guys, so I'm going to tell you something quick. We're going back in time here because I've already done the video for this, but I wanted to make this point very clear. And a lot of people don't understand that when you alter the top of these, or use the Minerellis, or, all of the above, even the Minerelli ones, and anything that you mod, you change the head gaskets, everything. The timing changes. And when you do a lot of modifications and you deck jugs and all that, you have to change the timing according to when the engine runs, and it can be off quite a bit and still run, but it doesn't mean it's correct. So if you do a big custom build like this or something and you want to find out how to set the spark correctly when it fires, it's roughly 8 to 12 degrees from top dead center, and then as it turns over, all that combustion is pushing the piston down. So you actually want to fire it before, not at top dead center. It doesn't work that way. So I just wanted to make that really clear. So when you're changing stuff like on a Minerelli or something, and you're changing the spacer and flat, everyone's like, oh, I got to get this squish and all. But if the firing pattern is no longer within the tolerance and it's at 5 degrees now, or I don't know, it's at 25 degrees, before top dead center, you end up with different conditions where the engine doesn't run right. So I just wanted to make that clear. So anybody that's, interested in building some custom stuff, sure, you can get away with not touching any of the timing. It will run. But if you want something like the MS460 that I built, the one where I put like pure rage build, that is timed exactly the same way I just did this one. So, there's a little bit of method to the madness. And when I do those, I know everyone's crazy and starts grinding the keys off. And that screws up things because that can come out of balance and a lot of different stuff. All you got to do is take the magneto and drill the holes out to 5mm drill bit. That's it. And that'll give you 9mm, or 9 degrees this way, 9 degrees that way, which is huge from the stock settings. So it's way past anything you would need to change. So it's a super easy way. You just tilt your thing, mount it up. I like to take like an Amazon gift card and put it between the magnet, put your magneto on, screw it in place where you need it for the timing wise, and then just pull the card out and it's spaced perfectly when you drill the holes out, because it will move unlike the stock holes. So just a little hint, some advice there, instead of all the key grinding and crap you see people doing. But anyways, alright, let me get on to this video. We are going to do something today. So I'm in the process. I've got some ignition coils, my CDIs are coming. I've got my Hall effect sensors. So got a lot of stuff going to go on with this shortly. The CDI should be here within the next, either today, tomorrow, or Monday. Whenever the mail decides to show up. So what we're going to do is find out the timing of this engine. So I just 3D print one of these little thread adapter go in the spark plug hole. Alright. Just want to make sure it's seated. Alright. So what we're going to be using is a drop indicator. Alright. And it's going to go in this hole. And we're going to find the top of that piston. And I'll explain why in a minute. Yeah, this one fits loose, so I got to put a little shim in it. Thing's been used a few times. Alright. As long as it won't move. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. So what we want to do is find the top of this piston. And you'll see this go up. As soon as it hits the top where it stops at, that's going to be the top of our piston where we're going to start this at. So, get something, let me see if I can do it this way. So what are we on? We actually, yeah, that's one. Okay. Now you can see it's pushing it. Come on. Gotta find the point it stops. Oh. So, let's go back. There we go. Oh. Right there. We'll test this again in a minute. So make sure we found it. Hope that light's not blinding you. Okay. Nope. Let's go back. No. Okay. You want to do this a couple times, make sure you're dead on the money. Alright. Perfect. Alright, now that we're at top dead center, so what we want this indicator to do is, let's see, we want 10 degrees before top dead center where we're at. And let's see, if we're going on the bike, it's rotating this way, right? Okay, so I need to go this way 4 thousandths of an inch. So we need to get this 4 thousandths of an inch and mark it. And we got to go backwards to get it there. Alright. Okay. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, ideally, on an engine, let's went a little past. Alright. So that is exactly about 10 degrees before top dead center right there. That's where this engine is at right at the moment in time for cylinder 1. And the reason that's important is you actually have to ignite the fuel air mix 8 to 12 degrees before it actually hits top dead center. And that creates the cycle to keep the piston going down as you keep going. So yeah, we're going to aim for the middle, which is 10 degrees, and we're roughly in there. There's a little bit of mass and stuff in there, but we're pretty close. So now that we know where we're at, we are going to set up something to time this. So we're going to do a timing mark somehow on here, and I think what we're going to do is just literally draw a line here. And we'll do, okay. So this is going to be for cylinder 1. I wonder if I can just, yeah, let's pull it all out. This little 3D printed part is about dead. It's been used 1,000 freaking times. It doesn't really matter how it works and stuff, as long as it holds your drop indicator. I'll have to print a new one. This one's like seriously 4 years old now, which is just amazing for a 3D printed little part. But yeah, you can buy these at Harbor Freight and stuff, by the way, so not very expensive. But alright. Alright, so we're gonna get cylinder 2 here. Alright, we'll turn that so you guys can see. Okay. Okay, we're right on the money here. Okay, so now that we're at that point, let me make sure I do this right again. The sprocket is going this way. We want to go this way. Alright. Right before top dead center. Right there. Oh man. You gotta be nerves of steel to line these things up in. Alright, right there. Whew. Alright. So we're gonna draw our second line. Alright. So yeah, as you guys can see how they're offset? So I want to tell you guys the story behind this, why it's like that, and not like that. I originally made this crank, and when I set it all up and put them together, I offset it for 3.2 degrees so that the firing pattern slightly off from top dead center, bottom dead center, all that stuff, okay? Exactly for the reason why we're timing it now, the 10 degrees before and all that stuff. Well, I marked it wrong when I sent it in. The spline is at 20-degree intervals, and I put it one tooth back when I marked it. So it's actually offset 23.2 degrees. So I asked the guy, I said, oh crap. I said, this thing's marked, it's balanced, all that. It's at 23.2 degrees now. And he said, nah, it's fine. We computer balanced it. It's all spin balanced. Everything's calculated for the mass of this when they did it. So shouldn't have an issue. But yeah, he was kind of puzzled why I had it that far. And I said, well, I didn't realize I marked that wrong. But they said that it should not be an issue just because of the way it's balanced. So we'll see. That's where we're at, and that is why that is off like that. Instead of it being, here, it's actually here now. So, is what it is, but it shouldn't affect it running. So we will continue. These CDIs just got an update. May be coming today. They're in North Carolina. Who knows what happens with the mail these days. Everything's so delayed and stuff. I've had a hell of a time getting the CDIs. I had to order them another country. I cannot get a DC basic CDI to run all this. I've been trying and it's just all this stuff's been back ordered. So I actually bought one from Australia, had it shipped, and it's arriving faster than the one I bought from California 3 weeks ago. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna show you how this works. I've got this all hooked up to a battery, one of these sensors. Let's see if we can do it like that. Alright, so right now, this would be piston 1 right here. And when this magnet comes around, it'll trigger the sensor. Just like that. So what we'll do is we'll put a hole in the cover that's shaped like a jelly bean. So I can set this up to just trigger when these two are lined up. And then we would do the same thing over here. I'd put another jelly bean hole. And when the magnet's in this location, it'll trigger the other one. So that's basically what we're going to have. We're going to have two sensors sticking out of the side of this. One here, because that's actually one. And the other one's going to be probably in this area somewhere. So that's all. That's the secret magic to timing where you're going to have your ignition system. So we got our timing mark right there, which I'm going to now put a line in. That's right. It's right at that point. So, oh, that me it is. I just wanted to make sure I know where it is in case these lines are gone. Alright, so that's it. I hope that explains that. So next what we got, we have the capacitor discharge ignitions coming for these. Everything's going to be run 12 volt. I'm actually going to use two RC receiver packs for my large scale RCs. It's a little battery, and it should run these quite a bit. So I'm going to take this, hook it up to the CDIs, hook up this. We're going to make another one of these and set it up to trip these sensors so that we can test the ignition system. So that's coming. I got to wait for the CDI boxes to come. And I still got to find connectors to make my wire harness. I have not found the CDI connectors yet. So that's my other little project on this side. So, alright, peace.